I want to talk about something generally sensitive in the PoE2 community, and I know some of you are going to think this is beating a dead horse, but I want to talk about the campaign skip debate. Now, we've actually covered this before, and we know GGG's own take on it and why they keep saying no, it's not going to happen. But I was lurking some streams yesterday, and sure enough, they were debating the campaign skip issue again. So I thought with 1.0 coming by year's end, plus a whole wave of brand new players about to walk in, I think we got to throw a little caution to the wind on this before it just becomes the thing everyone assumes is true. So today, I want to make the case for why the journey, aka the campaign, isn't the annoying part standing between you and the real game. It might be a big part of the real game. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Sammy, and I want to be upfront. This is an old topic, but I want to get it off my chest once and for all. Let's get into it. All right, let me break this down of just saying trust me. It really comes down to one word: progression. That's a huge part of why we even play ARPGs to begin with. Well, at least it's one of the reasons why I love this genre. Progression is tied to the chase. It's tied to chasing loot, chasing power, chasing that elusive drop, the adrenaline when it finally hits, the gut punch when it doesn't. Those ups and downs are what makes the progression feel rewarding. And yeah, sometimes painful too. Take that away and you're cutting out a massive chunk of what actually makes this game feel good to play. Let's actually get into why the journey matters, in my opinion. The first thing I want to talk about is, let's assume Grinding Gear Games does put a campaign skip in Path of Exile 2. What does that even do? What does it mean? Campaign skip, I would assume, doesn't actually put you at max power, puts you somewhere in the beginning of the end game, obviously. And depending, I guess, on past history, level-wise, that could be high 50s all the way to 70, low 70s, depending on how quickly you get to the end game and what GGG thinks the average level is. But it's somewhere in there. But you're in the beginning of the end game, starting fresh, tier 1 maps, not level 100, walking into tier 15s. And if any of you have experienced the end game, even there is quite a journey between tier 1 and tier 15. At least that's been my experience. This isn't an instant god mode if we were to get the campaign skip, but it's still a massive jump in the progression. You're skipping the entire arc of actually building up to that point, that transformation, low level to strong, or like how I like to call it, 0 to hero. It only hits because you remember being weak first. And I'm talking about the arc. Skip straight to the end game and you've skipped most of the actual progression that was supposed to get you there. Second, the journey isn't just some setup before the real fun starts. It is the fun. Chasing loot, chasing your next upgrade, staying up way too late because you're just one more map away from that elusive item that you're chasing. That chase, that's the game. You just get handed a huge chunk of your progression with none of the wanting that made it matter. Third, this is generally how you learn your build, or at least that's how I've learned not only the build, but the game. And I don't mean that in some stupid way. You find your build's actual weaknesses by getting punished for them in real time, not by copy pasting a guide and getting dropped straight into tier 15s. Skip that and you're not skilled with your build. You're just wearing it like a costume. Fourth, and honestly, this might be the one people sleep on the most, the highs and lows. Actually celebrating when a craft finally hits, actually being pissed when a build's just not working. That's not an experience that should be thrown to the curb. That's information. That's what tells you whether to keep pushing or completely rework something. Skip the journey, skip that whole feedback loop. You don't know if your build's actually good. You just have it. Which actually reminds me of something. Many years ago, I was on this Minecraft kick. I started in softcore and got heavily addicted to hardcore Minecraft. And that led me to hosting a Minecraft server. And at one point, when I had this server, I saw this structure that I wanted to make. Instead of grinding out the mats for this structure, I just put since I was the owner of the server, I gave myself God mode. And for those of you that don't know, God mode basically means you can't die, and you can literally assign as much mats that you want. Anything in the game, you can just give it to yourself for free. Whatever I wanted, instantly, no limits. I built that structure and it was incredible. But over time, I enjoyed it less, not more. If I felt cheated almost, like I didn't actually earn any of it. And not actually earn, I didn't earn it. Even with a better end result than almost anything I made playing it legit, it just wasn't as satisfying. And that's exactly the trade campaign skip is asking you to make. Okay, so here's something I want to ask instead of just assume. Where's this coming from, this just skip it campaign mentality? Where's it coming from in the first place? Please, if you have an opinion, drop it in the comments. I would really love to know where this is stemming from. The easy answer, of course, would be it's an instant world right now. Instant food, instant information. Everything's one click away. So, of course, people want instant progression too. Why would gaming be any different? And look, there's probably something to that. That's generally how a lot of life works right now. But here's the thing that makes me question it. My YouTube demographic sits mostly between males the age of 25 to 45. That's not exactly the demographics people usually point at when they talk about the impatient, instant gratification generation. So if it really was just a broad generational thing, I'd expect the sentiment to skew way younger than what I'm seeing in my comments. So maybe it's not a generational thing at all. Maybe it's something more specific to how the gaming culture has changed. Guides, wikis, everyone already knowing the fastest approach before they even start. You know, I don't have a clean answer here. I'm genuinely just curious where you think this is coming from, hence why I'm asking the question. So please get in the comments section. I really would like to get to the bottom of this if possible. Now, I know what the counter argument is going to be here. The leveling alt character's position. Just let me skip the campaign with my alts. And I get it if you got limited time. I get it. Redoing 15 to 20 hours per character, maybe even double that, sometimes more per character. I get it. It sucks. And I'm not going to tell you that the frustration's not real. I myself sometimes begrudge having to, do the campaign on my alts. And I'm someone that consistently does a minimum of 2 to 3 characters per league. So I get it. But here's what I think. The fix is not skipping the journey, as I like to call it. It's keeping the journey worth doing. Instead of eliminating the problem, why don't we ask GGG to fix the issues in the campaign so it's enjoyable? Tighter pacing, no more useless dead ends, reduce the size of large zones. And to be fair, GGG has been chipping away at this already. That's not the same thing as just deleting it completely. One solution looks at improving the experience, the other removes the experience completely, in my opinion. And with 1.0 dropping and going free to play, and a massive flood of players coming into the game who never touched this game before, that makes getting this wrong an even bigger deal, not a smaller one. If the first thing a brand new player learns is, oh my god, I can skip the campaign and go right to the end game, We're teaching a whole generation to skip the exact part a lot of us fell in love with. So that's my take. The journey's not standing between you and the good part of PoE2. It might just be part of the good part. Tell me if you disagree. I actually want to hear if you've got a real good counter. Get in the comments section and let me know. I want to hear it. All right, everybody. That's it for today. No more beating dead horses. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Hit that like button too if you got something out of this. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch so you know when I'm streaming. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. We'll hope to see you on the next one. Take care. The opinions expressed in this video are mine and solely mine. Healthy debate is always encouraged. Hate is never welcomed. So get over it.